One of our conversations on the program today has to do with the political crisis. That's the closest word to it now in River State. What started as some sort of political romance between the incumbent governor, Siminalayi Fubara, and his, well, some people say political benefactor and godfather, Nyesom Wike, former governor, his immediate predecessor, has quickly, within a matter of months, turned sour. As a matter of fact, so fast it happened that as of today, from what we know, both gentlemen hardly can see eye to eye. But the interesting part is how that the State House of Assembly, as is often the case, has also thrown its hat in the ring, in the manner of speaking, given the fact that you now have divided allegiance. So you have a speaker that is, well, loyal to Nyesom Wike, the former governor, and then you have another speaker now who just emerged a matter of days ago, loyal to the incumbent governor. So it has become, in the final analysis, a case of when two elephants fight. Of course, we know what happens, the grass suffers. I'm joined by a gentleman, one who is going to bring some brilliance to the conversation on the show this morning. Is a member of the ruling All Progressives Congress, the APC, but is, well, has his eye and ears on the ground, especially where political activities in River State are concerned. Solomon Soponochi, hopefully I pronounce your last name.
Yes, you did very much well.
It's good to have you on the program.
It's good to have you too.
All right, great. So we've dragged this for a while. Today you're finally here. Even though I'm not so sure where you stand with regards to these two gentlemen who are in the ring, for want of better words, right now. But let's talk about the genesis, because let's say there's no smoke without fire.
All right. It's nice to be on your station to air this very important state issue growing into national issue. Initially, it started off, we heard it was a father and son relationship. And the father and son relationship broke down into father and son rift. And we felt they could handle it at their own level. And all hell was broken. As of December last year, it looked going forward. We had defections. We had the emergence of a speaker, which you didn't even recognize, Edison Ehie, who later now is the chief of staff to the current governor. And since then, we now had an intervention of Mr. President coming in to restore that peace. But like you said, what exactly is the genesis of the problem? We do not know, because it's shielded behind father and son relationship. A lot of people will put up certain projections, agreements of finance, agreements of loyalty to do certain things. For me, I like to dwell on facts, not on hearsay. All of that which we have heard are hearsay. Between the father and the son, none have really said the authenticity of what broke down amongst both of them. Or what I know and what I can say for a fact is this. The father must have asked for too much from the son. And the son is now determining how much he wants to give the father. That's why I would just leave it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, one would have thought, I mean, the incumbent governor was also the accountant general to Nyesom Wike while he was governor. So the relationship has come a long way. But you just, well, let's say theorized that there's a possibility that the father, to use your word, probably had asked for too much. And the son says, no, you're overstepping your bounds. I mean, I'm in charge now, that sort of thing. We have seen, for example, the issue of godfatherism, because this is one of those elements, apparently. The PDP governorship candidates in Edo State, Aswe Godalo, was asked the same question time and again on different platforms. Are you the third term of Obaseki? He said no. But he said something very instructive. He said he can't be the third term of Obaseki because the model has never worked. This idea of one person succeeds the other, then the successor becomes loyal to the predecessor, even at the detriment of the state. Is this just a repeat? I mean, are we reinventing the wheel here?
Well, to be very frank to you, I think many men do not understand what power means until when they get to emerge and until when they get to live it. Between the Godfather and the Godson, one is dependent on the other.
So who is dependent on
At every point in time. Let me give you the analysis. Before the Godfather drops off, the Godson depends on the Godfather. And when the Godson now has power to himself, the so-called Godfather is dependent now on the Godson. The extent to which you wield your power determines how much the cookie is being shared. For example, like you rightly said, Igodalo had said for Edo State, he is simply telling you he understands what power is. And has said this does not work. I have power today, I will use my power as best fit as it suits me. Whatever argument both of us might strike in now might be from a position of what? Anticipation, interest, and call it some bit of hopeful anxiety of success. But when a man gets what he's looking for, what else? I have the power now, so I would use it. So coming back to Rivers State, between the former governor and the present governor, the powers of a commissioner is limited to that of a governor. Wherever he sat when he signed his agreements to the Godfather was from a point of a boy, a commissioner, to a governor. Whatever he knew was limiting to him. Even the office to which he held as commissioner was that which was extended to him, remember, by the governor. So today, he is now governor. He extends the power to every man in Rivers State. So tell me, power, they say, is intoxicating. Maybe that's what is happening here.
When President Tinubu intervened in October, I guess, last year, one would have thought that was definitive, as they say in law. I mean, that was going to bring closure to this whole crisis. That just hasn't happened yet. So what is the explanation for that?
So, I'd like to answer you with peace, an agreement between two parties. The failure of agreement brings discord. The president intervened. A peace deal was struck, but an agreement was kept. Now, the president, in his wisdom, also being the president of Nigeria and father of all, to which he swore an oath of office to protect lives and property and see to the affairs of the nation, and Rivers State being part of Nigeria, he intervened and called two sons of Nigeria, two sons of Rivers State, to take the toll of peace. Regardless, one party claiming that they were not too happy, but they chose to go on with it out of respect, not constitutionally, not legally bounding, but on the promotion of what? Respect. And we saw a little silence, recall of whatever had happened, and review of whatever was signed. And the governor promoted that. However, the law was taking its course, which is those who went to court filed on the grounds that the moment you defect as a lawmaker, you cease to exist in that office. So the intervention of Mr. President is a promotion of peace, but at the same time, is this contradicting the law? The law is the law regardless. How much you chase the law determines the seat of those lawmakers. Did the governor withdraw? Yes, he did, on the line of peace. But did the elders withdraw? They didn't. They held their position of the law. They went to the courtroom. and filed their cases, which is still standing till today. So, however, those elders were not present whatever pally that was being discussed with Mr. President. And they have every right to go about how they choose fit to deal on the matters concerning the state which they act as elders. So we have the pally agreed by the governor, but yet we have the elders who have taken the part of the law and hoping that the law will take its course.
Interesting. But again, there are people who say former Governor Nyesom Wike is over pushing his luck, because you have done 8 years, you're out of office. You need to cut this gentleman some slack, let him focus, and all of that. Isn't there some sense in that argument?
Well, like I said earlier, it's a position of a father over asking, and the son determining how much
He can give
to the father. You see, like I said to you earlier, power is power, and it's intoxicating. Both men come from a position of power, and power comes with giving and taking. To the former governor, he has enjoyed that office. He is now minister, and sees to it that he is godfather to the present governor. So you take what I say and you do what I say. If ever you have something different, present it, and then we shall all agree on it. But it's a different scenario right here, because the present governor, I'm not even sure is willing to even come to sit to even agree on anything anymore. It's now simply that I am governor, allow me rule. I took the oath of office to govern Rivers people, and I will govern Rivers people, because whatever happens is upon me.
It's interesting because, like I said, the president had intervened last year. But it's been 6 months and counting. The president, for what we know, hasn't said a word about it, at least not in the open. Some people say this is uneasy silence. Some people say the silence is very loud. But we saw Ajorin Galali, special advisor to the president on media and publicity on national television at the other time, talking about how that the president will not take sides. That what the president will do is ensure that everybody has what they need to work without taking sides in the overall interest of the Rivers people. Help me make sense of that.
So, first off, we must recognize that Ajorin Galali is a Rivers man. In him speaking, and also come from a position of emotions as a Rivers man. Second off, he enjoys the comfort of direct discussions with Mr. President. I do not want to say him being on air in that discussion is an official statement or promotion by Mr. President, but at the same time, he has to put Mr. President in good light, as that's part of his job.
Right.
And every leader will not take sides in such a fight.
At least openly.
Openly, which that has been stated. And even behind the scene, like I said, I like to dwell on facts. Behind the scene, I'm sure that both parties are of great importance to Mr. President. Let me draw this scenario. The president entrusted the former governor to serve in capacity of Minister of the FCT. He recognizes that. The president recognizes the governor, a member of the Governors Forum, and governor of Rivers State, who also holds of great economic value to the country. This is governor. And he has said over and over again that he is not a president who wants to play partisan politics. He wants to be a president that leads for the good of Nigeria, regardless of party affiliations. And he wants all governors to be on his side, that the renewed hope agenda is being achieved. Severally, we've seen similar Fubara as a resident of Mr. President, not once, not twice, even last December, recently during the Ramadan feast, which they all gathered. He was there. So I believe Mr. President enjoys the comfort of both men at this point. But I think, like, the father and a son who is fighting, and then there's a grandfather who is there. It's almost difficult for him to choose.
You know, that makes it a bit complicated. Yes, Wike is a member of the PDP. At least he says he has not resigned from the PDP.
Yeah.
And then he serves in an APC-led federal government. Of course, his estranged godson, Fubara, is in the PDP. How much does this complicate this conversation?
So, Wike is in the PDP. Fubara is in the PDP. As of now, as we speak, I personally am keeping a watch as an APC member to see what the PDP National will do. Is it not shocking to you, as it is shocking to me? I'm not trying to call them out, but I must do. Yeah.
That was the national leadership of the PDP.
Yes! That till now, they cannot intervene in affairs of such gravity. It's a sign of weakness on the party. I do not know what the organizational structure is or the reef they have amongst themselves, but for a serving governor of Rivers State to be in rift with a party elder of such magnitude as Nyesom Wike, the party ought to intervene. And then having your lawmakers, 27 of them, defect to another party, and to them, they didn't even act as if anything happened. And then you have a waving difference if they are on seats, if they are not on seats. Not even a word from the National Secretary. For me, it is a PDP affair. I, as APC, I just want to watch.
The leadership of APC River State is now asking, I mean, that call became vehement last week for the resignation of Fubara, in fact, impeachment of Fubara. I mean, where's that coming from? Opposition party.
Well, you know, that is the beauty of the Asiwaju government. Regardless, party or no party, he wants to work with everybody. I want to say promotions of Chief Tony Okocha, the acting chairman of APC River State, as a promotion of togetherness with the current minister, where he comes from an angle that as a chairman, he will celebrate the defection of 27 lawmakers to APC. It is a win. We must not forget that politics is a game of numbers. So, as the present chairman, why not? If I have 27 more members at that capacity of lawmakers coming over to my party, no matter how it will be, I must try to also promote, support, defend their confidence. So I see that's what is playing out here. The chairman of the APC projecting the suspension of or the impeachment of the governor is simply party politics. I don't want to say much more than
Party politics.
Party politics.
Governor Fubara says the House of Assembly building is long overdue for renovation. I mean, how timely or otherwise is that? Is it politically motivated? Because some lawmakers are saying, look, the governor is using that as a pretext to want to achieve other political objectives.
Okay. And I'll say it again. I love to deal on facts. The governor is the chief custodian of the state. Everything that happens in Rivers State is under his watch. So if the governor chooses to step into the assembly quarters to vet for himself, he's not out of place. What the lawmakers have said is that he wishes to demolish it. It is hearsay. Because I listened to the governor when he spoke directly to the people on air, and in his words he said he only came for inspection. But yet again, we can't take out what politics is. Machiavelli will define it as the end justifying the means.
Regardless of how you get there, the process that leads up to the end.
At all. It's also a game of survival. You wouldn't want to throw dirt in my face, disgrace me, abuse me, and then tell me not to talk. How I talk would now reveal to the world if I am a strong man or if I am a weak man.
Is Fubara a strong man or a weak man at this point?
How strong, we do not know. But if he is strong, he's beginning to show that.
So was he weak the entire time up till this point?
Well, let me say Fubara has a political strategy which some of us are beginning to learn from. I want to call the model of the former president of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, where silence could also be a skill in governance, where you operate from an angle of talk less and act. Fubara is not the regular politician. I won't even consider him as one up until now. He's been a civil servant all his life.
Career civil servant.
Career civil servant. So this might be his first promotion of politics. So if he plays it a little bit different from the books, yes, it's expected. Some of us are watching and learning. Talk less and act. Where is acting? You cannot predict, you cannot say, but all what we know, the man is acting.
So far, we understand that an executive order from last year, signed by Governor Fubara, to move House of Assembly sittings to Government House has emerged now. Now, if that piece of, if you like, document is enforced, it means ultimately the House of Assembly will practically move. I mean, their sittings will move. But somebody has asked a question, who owns the maize between both speakers? Maybe that's another element altogether. Then we have seen where, for example, in Edo State at the point, the roof of the House of Assembly had been taken off because the former governor at that time, Adams Oshiomhole, said renovation was crucial. All right. Well, of course, we knew how the drama played out eventually. We've also seen, even under Gordon Obaseki during his first term, how they also moved sittings to exactly to Government House and all of that. So it's more like a pattern or a model for governors. But what does it mean if the sitting moves to Government House ultimately? Who does it favor, Wike or Fubara?
Right now, it favors Fubara. So I will not sit here and tell you before Nigerians who are watching of what is wrong being right. Governors move the assembly to the government house solely for their own political favor.
Nothing else.
Nothing else. And it shows you how much as a people we choose to accept whatever comes from the top. It also shows you how not independent the legislature could be, because their duties are to checkmate the executives. So if you have an executive who sends your office inside his house, chooses when he opens the door, chooses when his lights out, chooses who has access in and access out, Tell me. Won't you just walk in favor of whatever that person tells you? So that's why governors will definitely do that. Because they can now control in totality what happens. So if I'm to be impeached, I will choose number of persons that will come in.
Because the sittings happen right under your very nose.
Right under your very nose. And you can end whatever process that costs of... so like I said, politics is playing out. It's a game. Survival is happening here. Fubara wants to survive.
Let's talk about the involvement, the level of involvement of the House of Assembly in all of this, and then the divergence we now see, the divided loyalty. Walk me through all of that, how these dynamics are playing out, because obviously you have two speakers now.
Well, the moment Assembly members lose their seats, they ought to be declared vacant.
On account of defection?
On account of defection. Declared by the Speaker. And the message sent to INEC to come conduct
fresh elections.
But the dynamic here is beautiful and different. We learn every day. And from mistakes that happen, maybe the Constitution is being reviewed. The Constitution said the Speaker will declare the seats vacant. But nobody ever thought of, what if the Speaker is part of the defection? So we have a Speaker now who is part of that process of defection.
Probably even led the defection.
Probably even led the defection. And by law, the moment you do that, your seat is being declared vacant by the Speaker and even by the Constitution. So there must be a Speaker who would even vet the confirmation of their so-called defection if it meets up. Because basically, Constitution said if there's internal crisis and all of that, you can do that. So there must be a Speaker who would vet that process and see if your defection is carried, and then there's no need to declare the seats vacant. But up until when that vetting is done, the seats is vacant. But now the Speaker is part of the defection. So that's one side. In absence of a Speaker, there is a need for a Speaker to take over immediately. And we had the emergence of Edison Ehe, who immediately declared all their seats vacant. Immediately. And the beautiful thing about this set of 32, now then 31 lawmakers, they are all from the same party. All from the same party.
The PDP?
Yes, the PDP. So Edison Ehe declared them vacant. And a call was made, but restrained by court, by this other faction. And so when Edison was then announced Chief of Staff to the governor, then another vacancy is made present. And then you now had the emergence of a new Speaker who just emerged a couple of days back. So you see that the legislature in Rivers State right now is in a state of chaos. Court injunctions upon court injunctions by different, I do not even know what year would be done with all of those court summons and all of that. But as of today, we'll have only 4 assembly members in Rivers State as recognized by law. The other 27, just by the court's promotion, cease to exist. And their seats are vacant.
When this whole crisis started, we would always hear you, so we could say, Governor Fubara is ungrateful. Of course, he never mentioned his name, but the people who listened to him weren't born yesterday, so they knew where that inference came from. That's the governor was ungrateful, that he can't tolerate ungrateful people. What should be the ideal way to show gratitude under this circumstance that probably the governor didn't do to his predecessor, Nyesom Wike?
I try to limit how much I say certain things because I'm an APC member. This is a PDP affair, but yet I'm a statesman. It's my state. What gratitude is the minister asking about? I cannot say. Because gratitude to you might not be the same gratitude to me. What you call appreciation to me might not be befitting to me. So I do not know what is befitting to the minister.
In terms of gratitude?
In terms of gratitude. And to be fair to the minister currently, to be fair to him, like I said, it was a father and son relationship. And how much they have come, it's quite a long way. From him serving as local government chairman and having Similayo Fubara working with him then as councillor also, to promotions to chief of staff, and had him over in the civil service, and then him emerging as governor with sets of promotions to Fubara, accountant general, and then finance and all of that. So they've come a very long way. It's a father and son relationship, no doubt. So gratitude, in its definition between both of them, might be quite different from how I myself might understand it. Because we do not know, both on the scene and off the scene, how much they might have gone for each other in assisting their political ambitions.
As it stands right now, let's talk about the implications for the people of River State. Because like I mentioned earlier, when two elephants fight, the grass suffers. I'm not so sure Governor Fubara is as focused on his job of being the governor of the state now as he ordinarily should be if this crisis had not erupted in the first instance. How much does this hamper his ability to focus and provide governance for the people?
Truth be told, governor is fighting his worst to survive, to govern the people, promote his political career, assert his position on the people. It's distracting. We don't even know if the budget is passed, if the budget is not passed. What exactly? You have the tiers of the local government fighting him back, which is the grassroots. So tell me, how can he be focused? He cannot be focused. From legislature to local government to commissioners who have withdrawn, elder statesmen for and against. Tell me. He cannot be focused. There's a limit to what success would be for Fubara. Like I said to you, we do not know when the court cases will come to an end, as there are so many on ground. 27 lawmakers out. That means 27 representatives of different constituencies off the picture. You have just about 4 of them. In a right working system, can the capacity of 4 people chair the assembly of such a state like River State? You have local government chairmen who are to take down grassroots mobilization and development, also fighting with the governor. So how does he exercise this? A budget not past. So where do you go forth? Then on scale of representation, how can you even attract foreign direct investors in a chaos existing system? They will not come. Even currently check on every statistics which presented by states now, Rivers State is left in blank because you do not have a budget. So where do they come to you from? Because they cannot report what does not exist or what has not been put into law. So it is a trying time for any man. It is a trying time for the governor. It's a trying time for the state. It's a trying time for the polity of Rivers State. In fact, you cannot even enjoy politics in Rivers State anymore because you're almost held bent to tie yourself. Are you for him? Are you against him? Are you for Wike? Are you against Wike? I see politics have never existed in Rivers State without these two men. It has existed. It will exist.
Even after them.
Even after them. But right now, everybody is almost called to take an affiliation. People like myself, I'm just being a Rivers man.
You're not on either side.
I'm not on either side. I'm not on either side. Because even the promotions of emergence of the governor, I don't want to even go there. He was not my candidate. I didn't promote him. But when God has given power to a man and who wields the control of your state, you have no choice than to pray that he leads the people well. So my prayers are with Fubara right now, that he leads the people of Rivers State well, regardless of whatever challenge he's having. Because, like they say, when two elephants fight, the people suffer. How much suffering? The economy right now is tight, and having a state without a budget, and having the chaos going on from every level, we do not know what ticking time bomb is playing out for us.
Let's talk about ticking time bomb for Fubara now for a second as we round off this conversation. 2027 is just a matter of, it's not far flung. You know, politicians think in terms of the next election. But then there's the belief by some people in your party, in the PDP, and anywhere in between, that there's some political ambush by Nyesom Wike for Fubara come 2027. Do you share that sentiment?
So, between me and you and the people of Nigeria, we know what politics is. No man promotes his enemy. It's the very origin of life. Even Satan, when he offended God, he was cast down until today. So, it's simple. The minister will promote his candidates. It's simple. That is politics. And if Fubara feels he wishes to take up a second term, go ahead. Take up the challenge. Get into the primaries. It might get tougher then. If he's strong enough, they leave the party for him, go off to another party and contest. It's politics. It's survival. But for me, he should focus on the people right now. If it is one term he does, so be it. If he emerges victorious in the second runoff, good for him.
All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves. By our calendar, 2027 is still about 3 years away, even though we know politicians don't use the Gregorian calendar as far as their own activities are concerned. Solomon Soponuchi, member of the APC, thank you for coming to share your insights with us on the program this morning.
Thank you.
That's what we're leaving it with this first conversation. We're back shortly with the second and the last, but before that, Queen Agaba and I will bring you paper review here on the program. Do stay with us.